Hello and welcome to this episode of Cosmic Crow Tarot, where today we're going to be taking a look at the Couture Tarot, created by Megan Skinner and published by Red Feather Books. You see her name right there on that side, Red Feather Books right here on this side. So this is the publisher of this version of this deck. Now I believe this one was published by Megan Skinner herself, because the website on the back of this one actually is her website right there. And if you go to that website, which I'll put a link in the description below, of where you can purchase this a copy of this deck and where you can get this version of the deck, I believe, but it's her personal website. So, you know, this one was the first, and this is the one that is mass produced today. We're going to be looking at the illustrations and seeing the difference between the two. Now, as I've never actually done a video on this deck, then I'm just going to go through. I'm going to do a flip through of the cards. You're going to see all the illustrations, you know, the same time that I do, and then we're going to go through the texture of the cards, and I'll show you the differences between the two. Already, you can tell, and I'm kind of working the little plastic right here, but you can already tell the two boxes are very, very different. This one, when it comes to texture, it's a box. You know, you've got that feeling of paper on cardboard. You know, nothing too special. The cards inside is what makes that deck magical. Which makes any deck magical for that matter. But this box is a little bit more textured, and I mean, at that point, a little bit more magical as well. And you see there, still got plastic on the top. Whoop. There we go. And we have it out. We have this nice cardboard here that we can just slip right off, I believe. It's very smooth. It's very, I can't think of a better word than butter. It's very buttery, this box. Like, the texture of the box itself is just downright, it feels fantastic. Now I'm going to try to get this off without hurting it. You know, a new deck, a new box, things like this, it's a little bit difficult to get them on and off, and impatience will definitely, you know, tear at it, and it's not going to be as magical. It's not going to be as perfect, and we want that deck to remain perfect. You know, it doesn't look as good if the little box and the little thing is torn off, which is what I'm trying to do as I get it off. So there is a little bit of a struggle here. I mean, if you want to keep this on there, and for obvious reasons we do, because that in itself is couture, right? Beautiful. We've got that off. I'm going to set this box over on the side so we have more room to work with. And there we have the Couture Tarot box that opens up like this. Like, isn't that awesome? The way that it opens, it's like a package. It's like, you know, a storybook, something, you know, you don't get anywhere else. Now here on the inside, we'll turn it around. You've got the symbols right there on that one. And it says, Haute Couture consists of secrets whispered from generation to generation. And it has Yves Saint Laurent. And again, do not come for me for my pronunciation, because we all know that I'm just not good at it, and that's one of my flaws that we deal with. You've got the book right here, the guidebook. You can see there, very colorful, very much all the information that you need and everything on the illustrations. And the box itself has the cards safely inside of it. You can see right there, beginning with the Fool, with this wonderful little thing, little ribbon to pull them out with. And there you have the deck. These sides and everything are gold, just like that front. So already absolutely beautiful. Great feeling on the cards. They're like oracle shape, more so than like playing card shapes, I feel like. More like rectangle, like kind of wide. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the right words there, but you know, very great texture, very great cards right here. You can feel the newness. I mean, you can't obviously smell, but they smell brand new. They smell like a new book, and that's always something really awesome when it comes to tarot decks, is, you know, you're getting that brand new thing that's only been touched by your hands and the machine that put them in there. So we're starting with the Fool right here in this illustration, and new decks, as you know, new decks like to stick. So if you heard that noise right there, you know, the Fool's going to connect to the Magician. The Fool's going to be stuck to the Magician at times. There is that Fool Magician, or that Fool illustration, followed by the Magician illustration. Like, there's so many symbols, so many things on these cards, like the couture energy of it. I'm not that I don't know that much knowledge about fashion or anything like that, but I see the easiness and the readiness that is available to read with this card, because you have all these different pieces here, and I love the fact that the Magician himself, the male character, the character itself, like the person, doesn't have a head. So it's like, it can be you can be that magician and that power and an individual of your story. So that is an awesome illustration right there. The High Priestess follows the Magician in the Major Arcana sequence, and there is that illustration, and she's got the typed out information right there, reminding us that knowledge is important. Knowledge is power. Like trusting your knowledge, the wisdom in your head, trusting your intuition can give you that power to be the high priestess in your life. The high priestess is followed by the empress. The empress illustration is right here. If I can get the cards unstuck, there is that illustration of the empress. Again, a lot to go with, a lot of beautiful, beautiful colors and everything. Like this deck is so unique, so beautiful, and I love the thought process. The thought process behind it, because there's nothing else out there like it. I mean, obviously the original Couture Tarot would be like it, but it's just the individuality and the originalism that comes with these illustrations that you don't see anywhere else. It is quite magical, is it not? There is the Hierophant right there following the Emperor. And then we have the Lovers. I'm going to go through these fairly quickly. You know, we all have places to be and things to do. If I got that right, yes, that is the first one. I was like, they're just going to stick together, aren't they? But there is the Lovers. A lot going on there as well. You know, the togethers and the... I love the collage aspect of this deck. It's really pretty. There is the Chariot. No actual chariot on the illustration. That is cool. But I do like the boot down there. And it's kind of screaming, you know, these boots are made for walking. And there, if you look closely, is the symbol for Cancer, which is the astrological connection to the Chariot. So very interesting little attention to detail right there. Strength follows the Chariot in the major arcana sequence, and there is Strength with some interesting and I don't know if I would say delicious looking cake, but some cake nonetheless. It's such a fun illustration. I love that. You know, there's the lion that kind of reminds me of the lion from The Wizard of Oz, who just wanted that courage, that strength to feel that confidence. And they put the cape on him, the royal cloak, Dorothy and everybody did, and they sang to him, and it was just, you know, The Wizard of Oz, a magical experience. The Hermit follows Strength in the sequence, at least in the major, the Rider-Waite-Smith major arcana versions. In the Marseille style, you'd have it with Justice as 8. Hermit right there with that illustration, the tree and everything. The colors of this illustration are beautiful. The Wheel of Fortune follows the Hermit, and we have the symbol right there for Jupiter, which is a cool little attention to detail. And I love the wheel they've chosen and everything in this illustration too. Very, very beautiful. There's the Good Luck horseshoe. Justice follows the Wheel of Fortune in this deck. And you have this illustration right here with the owl scenting in the center. You know, that wise, intelligent owl telling you, you know, you walk forward, you trust yourself, you're fair and balanced, and you find, you know, that confidence to be fair to yourself, life will be more fair to you. So that is a beautiful illustration. Hanged Man follows the Justice in the major arcana sequence, and there is that illustration. And it's very winter vibes with this illustration, and that makes a lot of sense. Not for the astrological correspondence, because it's Neptune, which is right there down there. But the fact that, you know, in winter is when you find that stillness and you take that time to just appreciate what you have already and take stock on it, so you know what you want to grow moving forward. And that's kind of the energy of the Hanged Man, just having patience, enjoying the stillness of life. So that is a really cool illustration. I like that a lot. Death follows the Hanged Man, which is this illustration right here. If I can get it untucked or unhooked. Yeah, we're good. Temperance follows Death, and we'll be right there. But there is the Death illustration, followed by the Temperance illustration. Got that one right there. A lot going on in that illustration. I like the little purple right there in the background too. So a lot of color, a lot of things going on. Every single one of these illustrations, and that's what's so interesting and unique about it, is the fact that there's just so much to take in every single illustration. Like, look at that devil. There's the snake. There's the cattle head, the eye, like the apple from Adam and Eve. Like, such a cool illustration. And there is the little symbol for Capricorn down there too. So awesome illustration. Again, the Tower follows the devil. When you don't let go of those vices and addictions, your tower might fall. If you do let go of those vices and addictions, the tower might still fall. So there is that illustration of the tower. There's a lot going on there too. You've got the tower, England Tower of Ben or something like that there in the background, it looks like. Like, the guidebook's going to be really helpful for this too, I think, because if it has the descriptions of why she put different illustrations on it, it definitely will be helpful. But there is the star illustration, followed by the moon illustration. I've seen that moon before in art, so that's cool that she actually added that one. I don't know exactly where I've seen it before, but very, very cool illustration. Again, I do absolutely love this deck for the uniqueness and the originality, and it's just like every time you look at the different illustrations, you see something you might not have seen before. So there's a lot to make those intuitive vibes start flowing. So there's a lot to trust yourself on, or to just, you know, lead off of. Like with Judgment here, you've got the angel and everything there. He's saying, you know, forgive the past, learn from the past, and stop judging yourself so harshly. You've got a little symbol down there. I don't know if that's a symbol for Pluto. I do know that Judgment is astrologically connected to Pluto, so perhaps it is. But you have that beautiful illustration right there. And then last but not least of the major arcana, we have the World, and there is her symbol for Saturn. So we have like just everything in the world. That rhinoceros telling it's part of the world. The hawk maybe up here. Very, very cool illustration. And again, I like the fact that the astrological connections are all there. Like that is Uranus. What do we have with the Magician? Got to find the symbol for Mercury. Mercury is right over here in the corner. The High Priestess should have a moon on it in that case. I'm not seeing, well, the moon phases are right there, so I suppose that would be the connection to the moon. The Empress is Venus. Do we have Venus? We have the Queen of Hearts in the center. Right there is the symbol for Venus. So she put a little bit of attention to that in every single card. This one should have Aries in it. I'm not really seeing the Aries, but again, there it is. So you take the time and you it's like a scavenger hunt in this deck. It's really cool. Okay, we're getting to the suits of passion and fire now. The suit of wands here with the Ace of Wands. If I can get the cards unstuck. Got a couple cards right there, don't I? There is the Ace of Wands, followed by the should I stay or should I go illustration of the Two of Wands. As I pull it away from all the other cards, there is that illustration. The Three of Wands follows that, my favorite card of any tarot deck, because it's all about being true to yourself, having that passion, making sure you follow it, trusting it, making that choice. And when you do, when you trust yourself and you let that passion lead, you inspire others to follow their own. So definitely love that illustration. The Four of Wands is next, and there is that illustration, followed by the Five of Wands. A lot going on in this illustration. Let's see if I can get the cards apart. There is that illustration of the Five of Wands, followed by the Six of Wands. Six of Wands very much likes the Seven of Wands in this deck. There is that one with the horse and everything, so that's a really cool illustration. Now the minor arcana, they don't have the astrological symbols on them, but each one, as we know, all has one, but that's something you're likely going to have to figure out on your own. Like 5, 6, and 7 are all going to be connected to the fixed fire sign of Leo, whereas the 8, 9, and 10 of Wands is connected to the mutable sign of, or mutable fire sign of the zodiac, and the 2, 3, and 4 are the cardinal. So there's a little bit of tidbit of information you might not have had. All of that is available on my channel too, to like check out the different astrological correspondences to each and every card. That was the 8 of Wands. This is the 9 of Wands. If I can get them apart. There is the 9 of Wands. And of course the 10 of Wands. Overwhelmed because you have too much baggage to take with you as you begin the next chapter. That might be what makes you feel all overwhelmed. So there is that illustration, followed by the Page of Wands. With that illustration right there. I love the orange. It's so bright and vivid. And it's perfect because kind of fire is orange, right? Here is the Knight of Wands with all of his stuck cards to him. There is that illustration. Followed by the Queen of Wands. The King of Wands, and then I wonder what suit we have after that. Suit of Cups, most likely. Yep, there we go. And there, of course, is the King of Wands. So that is the suit of passion and fire, followed by the suit of emotional happiness and fulfillment. It's kind of good that I'm doing this now, like separating the cards as we go, because, you know, otherwise you try to shuffle this deck and work with it. It's not going to be easy. They're going to be stuck together, correct? There is the Ace of Cups, followed by the Two of Cups. I like the fact that there's not many people on any of these illustrations, because it kind of says, you know, you are that person. This is giving you that information to trust yourself as a person. There's the Three of Cups, some beautiful flamingos enjoying their time together and celebrating, you know, their love of, I think it's shrimp that they eat or something, some kind of pink animal, and that's what gives them their pink pigment. Four of Cups is the card of boredom. It's connected to a lot of cards there. There is that illustration right there, followed by the Five of Cups. Here we have that illustration, the focusing on what's been lost and not seeing what still remains. Not a lot going on in that illustration, but it is very depressing, which is kind of that energy of the Five of Cups. The Six of Cups, the card of nostalgia, is right here. Beautiful illustration with all the blues and everything. Followed by the Seven of Cups, the card of choices. There are lots of choices in this illustration, and when it comes to the tarot, there's a lot of choices of which deck to choose, right? So there is that illustration, followed by the Eight of Cups. There is that one. Followed by the Wish card of the tarot. And there is synchronized swimming on that one. That is definitely something that I think is absolutely beautiful. Not something I've ever attempted on my own. But, you know, that's a choice you can make. When you leave behind the doubt and you follow your heart, you can make whatever wish you have come true, including being a professional synchronized swimmer. Followed by the Ten of Cups, the Happy Family card. And again, no people, no happy family here, but it tells you like that completion and fulfillment is wherever you feel at home, wherever you feel comfortable with. So that is a beautiful illustration right there. Followed by the Page of Cups. There is that one. The Knight of Cups. If I can get them unstuck. There we are with the Knight of Cups. The Queen of Cups. And I think she's got the king attached to her. You know, the Queen and King of Cups. They're very similar in their illustrations, but very different as well. I like that. I like the fact that they're very, like, it's just, there's something about them. They just belong together, don't they? And then, of course, there is that one. Followed by the Suit of Swords. We've got that illustration right there. Followed by the Two of Swords, the card of turning out the distractions and tuning your attention within, right there with that illustration. The Three of Swords, the heartbreak and betrayal card, and that shoe is right there forward, like front and center with that Three of Swords. So it kind of says, you know, these boots are made for walking again, and that's just what you'll do, because once your heart has been broken, it's time to be true to you. I just kind of made that up, but there, that beautiful illustration right there kind of says, you know, keep going, don't give up, let that passion help you create something better from your pain. I love that illustration. Four of Swords follows the Three of Swords, the card of rest and reflection. The Five is stuck to there. There is that illustration of the Four of Swords, followed by the Five of the Suit of the Mind, the Six of Swords, the card of leaving behind the stress and finding a time of peace and harmony, is right there with the Six of Swords. Followed by the Seven of Swords, the Thief card of the tarot. If I can get them unstuck. I've said that multiple times there. But that's why we do this, so they become unstuck, right? There's the Seven of Swords. Followed by the Prisoner of Our Own Minds energy of the Eight of Swords. For some reason, this illustration reminds me of the inside of I Dream of Jeannie's bottle. Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it's the thought of this, the meaning of this card being trapped in that prison, even though it's of your own mind and of your own doing. So that is really interesting. It just kind of put me into that thought process. The Nine of Swords, the card of lying awake at night, worrying about what the future might hold, is right there with that illustration. And yeah, there's a lot of darkness in that illustration, stuff that you can definitely be worried about and fill you with anxiety. Ten of Swords is when you say, I give up. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to throw in the towel, just lay down and not even try anymore. And I know we've all been there at some point, but there is that illustration, and I love it because there's like the yellows and the oranges and the bright colors saying, you know, there will be a new day. A new day will dawn. You let go of the past, you learn from it, you spin that wheel and trust yourself in your mind, and you can begin that next chapter of your story. So the beautiful illustration again. All of these illustrations are beautiful and so unique and so original. That was the Page of Knights. This is the, or the Page of Knights. Yeah, I just said that. Page of Swords followed by the Knight of Swords. The Queen of Swords is right here. And of course, the King of Swords, the card that I like to relate to the Vulcans of the Star Trek universe, is right here to complete the Suit of the Mind. Now, of course, last but certainly not least, because it's where we live and what we call home, here's the Suits of Earth with the Ace of Pentacles, followed by the Two of Pentacles. And there is that illustration. The Three of Pentacles. That's such an interesting illustration of the Three of Pentacles, because it's kind of saying, you know, you don't necessarily need people to collaborate with. You can get the help of animals too. So I really like that illustration. All of these illustrations just really, I cannot recommend this deck enough because it's so original, so unique. And if you're really into the couture fashion and everything, then this is the absolute perfect deck for you. Like that Four of Pentacles, the purse to hold the money that you need to save, just such an attention to detail, and every single illustration is just so magical, so unique, so original, and not like anything prior to it. Like none of the illustrations really just don't connect to each other. It's like everything is different. Everything sparks that inspiration. But then if you look, like the greens and everything are more prominent. This is more earthy than the cards that we've seen before, with that Five or Six of Pentacles right there, and that Seven of Pentacles right here, that patience. And you look, that purse that's right there looks a lot more full than that one in the Four of Pentacles, doesn't it? Seven of Pentacles followed by the Eight of Pentacles, or yeah, there is the illustration of the Eight of Pentacles. The practice makes perfect, working hard to find that success. Nine of Pentacles is you've made a name for yourself and you can buy yourself whatever you want. And there is that illustration, and definitely has that energy because there's a lot there in that illustration that you can purchase, right? Ten of Pentacles, generations of family coming together to celebrate, or the blood that flows through our veins, our ancestral lines, and those past lives that we don't even remember. I love the energy of this card. And again, the beautiful illustration and like the stars and everything in the background. It's just so cool that every single illustration in this deck, there is the Page of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles right there, then the Queen of Pentacles, the Sween of Pentacles, yeah, I almost said that. But there is the Queen of Pentacles, and last but certainly not least is the King of Pentacles. So beautiful, beautiful deck. We'll just take another sight there, another look at that beautiful gold-sided edges. The guidebook that comes with this deck, also very, very awesome. You see right there the Couture Tarot, and you've got all the information that you need to be a fantastic tarot reader. If you're just starting out and this deck looks a little bit overwhelming, trust yourself, read that guidebook, and go for it. Now, I apologize there if you heard my dog barking. It happens quite frequently. She always wants to be part of the video, I guess. But before we go, I would like to show you the differences between, you know, the mass market red feather version of this deck, and here is the first edition of it. You can already see the backs are very, very different. You've got this starburst and that diamond in the middle, and that is absolutely gorgeous, and you can't tell what's upright or reverse with this one, whereas this one says couture, and you definitely can, because I mean, if it's upside down, then the couture is going to be upside down too. Now also, the mass market version has this awesome, like we showed, the gilded edge, the gold and everything right there, very beautiful. The other version, no, they're very much white. The sizes of the cards, this one is not in order. Obviously I've used it quite a few times, but you see there the different sizes. So the mass market one is not much smaller, but a little bit easier to deal with the hands, whereas the first version, not so much. But the quality of the cards, I will say that when it comes to the feeling of both of them, this deck, the original, feels a little bit smoother in the deck, but I like the box of the version of the mass market one a little bit more. The guidebook that comes with the first edition is right here. It's got all the same information, it seems, as the other version, but you have that one right here, and it's just like bigger illustrations and everything. So either one, awesome decks. I'd highly recommend both of them. I think the mass market version is the only one available now. Like I said, I'll put the link in the description below of where you can purchase her deck, and it will be her personal website, and I went on there and I looked, and the personal website also sells this version, you know, the red feather MVS version that we actually look through and flip through. So I definitely recommend this book deck. I think it is an awesome deck, you know, highly intuitive once you start working with it and everything, and just the illustrations are just gorgeous and unlike anything else that I've ever seen anywhere. Here is the box for the original version, and I'm just going to set this stuff down inside, put that on top. Actually, don't put that like that, because then you can like flip it up and get it out. And there's, set that box inside of there. Of course, put this one back in this box. Again, I love the shape of this box. I think it's so cool. It's like opens like a book and everything, and it's very, very secure and safe in there. You have that little gold ribbon and everything in there too, and you set those in there, set it across, and that book fits right there snugly on top. maybe. No, it goes like that. That's why it didn't fit. There we go. Sets it up, and I am not about to try to do this on camera because we will be here all day trying to figure that out to get that shimmy back on there. But I think the more you do it, the more it's going to be easier to do. But that is the one of the newest decks out by Red Feather. That is one of the decks out today that is like really awesome, original, and unique that you can purchase for your own collection today. If you want a reading with this deck or any deck in my collection, please feel free to comment on this video, message me on the socials, or book one directly on my website. All of that will be in the description below. As always, I really want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again in the next one.